So, Aquarius, welcome to your reading. I'm going to approach this a little differently. We're going to do a little academic explainer as I lay out the cards for you, and then we'll go into the intuitive portion of the reading. I'm going to do a Celtic cross. I have a little different setup here, so I'll show you the cards as I bring them out, but you're not going to see my table. If this reading resonates with you, please do hit the like button. It helps my algorithm a lot in terms of circulation. I would love it if you are new here, if you could subscribe if you like this reading, if you feel so moved, and drop me a comment below. All right, let's get to this. For Aquarius. Okay. Aquarius, the signifier of your reading is the Death card. It's big transformation, really huge major arcana level change and transformation. It's the energy of Scorpio. It's Phoenix from the ashes. Crossing is the Devil. The Devil is the sense of being in bondage, trapped, addictions, obsessions. Yeah, it's really oppressive energy. Could also mean lust or a drive or a deep ambition or hunger. That level, almost to the point of obsession. But it is those emotions to the extreme of where it is sort of it's verging on the unhealthy. So that's the crossing energy. Interesting. Big start, big major arcana stuff for you guys. At the root of you is the Hierophant. This is practice. It's tradition, it's religion, it's institution, it's talking about wisdom, spiritual wisdom, and dogma and doctrinization. It's having access to these things is at the root of you. And your recent past is the Ace of Wands, which was really the beginning of a new inspiration, a big idea, a sort of a breakthrough idea, a big beginning of something passionate, passion project perhaps. If it's a relationship reading, it's the beginning of it's the dawning of a new passion about somebody, about something. Ace of Wands, and then at the top, what crowns you is the energy of the Knight of Swords, really fast moving energy, but it's about getting offers, hearing messages, it's about fast moving action, taking action very quickly and very, what's the word? Not hastily, but the Knight of Swords is the energy of really being trained to do one thing, and so being able to execute something swiftly and pointedly. But it's very furious energy. That's what crowns you. And the future is the Magician. Again, major arcana, lots and lots of major arcana, Aquarius. And this is the energy of the Master Manifester. It also means that you have all the tools, all the resources you need in order to manifest something forward. Very wise energy. The connection between the earth and the spirit realms. Manifestation. You personally are signified, Aquarius. Nine of Swords. This is anxiety and sleepless nights. Forgive, my cat is scratching my furniture. Nine of Swords is anxiety, anxiousness, sleepless nights, up in your head energy. Swords is head energy. something that's causing you a great deal of stress. In your environment, Aquarius, in your environment is the King of Pentacles. Great abundance, very exalted aspect of the material world, material wealth, creative wealth. Somebody's very wise and fatherly, the father figure. Gender doesn't matter if this signifies a person in your life, somebody who you trust, but it also could be represent a father figure in your world, whether that's your actual father or your boss or somebody in an authority position. A masculine energy, again, doesn't matter male or female, but this is in your environment. Somebody who's really creatively abundant and abundant in resources as well. Well earned. Mirrors a bit of the Hierophant. It's pre-emperor energy. So there's a sense, it begins to be a sense of structure. So mirrors the Hierophant energy in that way. And oh, this is good. And yes, and so we'll get to that. But your hopes and fears is a Tower, and this is the energy of unexpected upheaval and change, a paradigm shift, something that comes out of the blue though, and fells the wall. It's sort of the harbinger of catastrophe in the worst sense, but on the other hand, it can mean just an unexpected change. That could be positive too, something that just comes out of nowhere. But it's the type of change that causes a huge paradigm shift. So somebody gave the example of like you win the lottery, like you suddenly you're wealthy, your whole world changes, and that's a good thing, but I think paradigm shifts make people a little uncomfortable in general. So that's why it looks all crazy and people are jumping ship and all of that. So fun. I personally like Tower energy, because it means that what's falling has to fall. It wasn't made of good enough stuff, or it had gone to rot, and you've just been holding it up really tenaciously, or it was taking a lot of energy to hold this up, and it had to fall. And so when the big something happened, it crumbled. It was going to. So and it's also it's interesting because it's also a card of reflective of Scorpio energy, and that's where you started your reading as well. And we're going to get into the interpretation of this really quick, but I want to call that out because Scorpio energy is transformation at the root. Sorry, I'll get it out. And so it talks about really deep transformation being needed, being necessary. It's in your hopes and fears. And while it may be something that you are fearful of in one sense, in another sense, you may be hopeful that, a paradigm shifts, that something changes. Your outcome is a wish fulfilled. It's the 9 of Cups, and this is a really great achievement and success. 2 ways to talk about this card. The first is that it is a wish fulfilled. Just this morning I was listening to a reader, and they described this person sitting in the front as a genie who is here to grant your wishes, and he's like sitting there going like, pick a cup, any cup. This is all that you ever hoped and dreamed of, and do you want one? Do you want 2? Do you want them all? Your wish is my command. So it's, the granting of wishes. And this basically says that whatever you are hoping for, whatever you're wishing, it is yours. And there's some cards on the table here that point to that inevitability. It talks about being proud of your achievements as they are well earned. And so the other way to look at this person on the card is that they are the businessman who worked really hard for all the cups behind him, and he's really proud, and maybe he's sitting a little smugly, but he earned it, and he earned the right to be proud of these achievements and his great abundance and his great wealth. The nines are representative of personal stuff. You know, we've got a 9 here in the 9 of Swords, and this is personal, internal head stuff. But on the other hand, you know, you flip this all the way around, and like I said, we'll start with the interpretation now. But I just want to point out that this flips all the way around to personal achievement. And so it's very interesting, all of the reflective energy that's going on here. And at the end, we'll clarify that more deeply. But let's get into this. So Aquarius, just wow. It's major arcana is everywhere here. You have the Death card, the Devil, the Hierophant, the Magician, the Tower, and it speaks to really really big deal stuff going on in your life. Or what this is talking about in this phase is that things are shifting in a really big fundamental way. Again, it's a paradigm shift, and I think it's what you hope for, and I think it's what you're manifesting, and you're manifesting it forward, and it's really a beautiful and positive thing. It looks really dramatic on the table, but as we talk about it, you're gonna see how it's just a really glorious moment for you. And we're talking about putting the moments of you know, under the moments of shift in the chrysalis, and we're just looking at them up close and personal, and we're experiencing them frame by frame here. So that's what's going on. That's all. So the Death card, and you know, crossed by the Devil, it tells me that you have a really great ambition towards this change. And okay, lots of things just flooding forward on this. First of all, you know, this is just confirming that you are having a big time transformation, and it's not easy. It's not easy, but the sun is in the distance, and you're headed towards the horizon, and the sun in the tarot sense is supreme, utter happiness and life-bringing energy, and so you're headed towards that. The Death card is wonderful because it does imply it's a one-stop shop. Everything is happening and falling apart, yes, but you will be reborn. It's a guarantee. But the crossing energy being the Devil is this feeling that for some of you, it is going to be addiction based. For some of you, what this change is talking about is that you're releasing things that have become unhealthy at this point, whether it's substance or behaviors. You know, truly, you know, it doesn't matter how you're filling a void, if it is through substance or through, you know, shopping too much, spending too much money, you know, mental obsessions, you know, just rolling things over in your head. However that obsessive notion plays out, it's all coming from the same type of illness, if you will. It's something that you need to address, and because it's a void, it's something that is missing in your life, and you need to find a way to solve for it, or satiate it, understand it. For some of you, it's going to be that it's a deep-seated childhood issue, something that wasn't taken care of, that might be coming up again and causing all of this shift and rift, and you finally need to address it in a way that abolishes it, so that, you know, you can burn it up and then rise from the ashes again. And for others of you, it's going to be, I feel like, in the pandemic situation that we found ourselves in this past year, things have shifted, and it may not be as deep-seated as that, but something that becomes missing from our lives because of all of the adjustments that we've had to make, and therefore it brings up stuff, and we've never had to deal with the lack of, you know, being social, perhaps in ways that we were used to, especially if we're more gregarious in nature or extroverted in nature, and if you are being denied this access to that in a way that you're used to, then it's going to come out as, it may manifest in behaviors that are akin to addiction. I think whatever it is for all of you, it's going to be a little different. It's going to have varying depths. It's come to a point where you have to move through it because it's affecting your life in a really big way. Again, these are major arcana. So that's a really big, important storyline for a lot of you. For some of you, this change is coming from a really great drive, like a lusty ambition that is now brimming over and you can't stop it anymore. Something that inside of you is, it's just, if you tempered this notion in the past, it's now at breaking point. You cannot hold back any longer. Something that you've been meaning to get to in order to ascend to the next level is go time now. And you can't hold it back because the energy behind it is, it's under pressure. And if you don't let it out and move forward and get to your ascension, it's going to burst. And that's why, perhaps some of you fear that it will result in a tower and an upheaval and something that gets really messy unnecessarily. So it becomes this drive. Whatever that is, there's a huge transformation going on for you, my Aquarius collective. And again, just to recap that really big, this is a huge opener, like no other, like very few anyway. And so for some of you, it's going to mean that it's being the impulse or the impetus of this huge transformative period in your life is going to be something that you've needed to deal with for a long time, that has become an unhealthy obsession. For some of you, it's going to be something that's developed as a result of recent adjustments that having been made, and it's just untenable now. And for others of you, it's going to be this drive that can no longer be held back. And at any rate, the time, Aquarius, wherever it's coming from, that the time for change is now. And it's happening. It's like you're hulking out. That's the feeling where you can't even hold it back if you try. It's happening. The transformation is happening, and you're just, here I am. And this amazing beast comes forward. And maybe it's not the Hulk, maybe it's something, it's truly the butterfly from the chrysalis, and because you can't. That's what it is. It's like you're at this point of transformation where there's no turning back. It is an inevitability, and you're just bursting forward from it. Okay, so let's ground this a little bit. We've got the Hierophant at the root of you, and you are coming from a great deal of wisdom, and a great deal, this is carrying you through. I mean, this is a really grounded energy, earthy energy, Taurus energy, earthy, fixed, amidst all of this, never fear, because where you're coming from is really you're not going to spin out of control, because you're really grounded in this spiritual wisdom is on your side. You have great practice. That's on your side. You have great discipline, and you're enlightened. It's you have a really something's coming through about the delegation and delegation. If that means something for you, let me know. There's a delegation. So maybe some of you is some of you are really great delegators. That part of this is going to be about, while you move through this tumultuous time, or this time of great transformation, you're going to have to delegate some of use this leadership strength to make sure that you're delegating out your responsibilities and your, because truly, all right, let me back it up for a second. It is confirming that you are a great, that at the root of you is a great stability and wisdom and learning. So what do you do with it, and how does it get you through this transformation? Because good or bad, I mean, it's all going to be good. I think transformation is going to be positive. And it's transformation, it's not degradation. So as you move through it, it can feel disruptive. And so how do you deal with the minutia of everything along the way? How do you keep balanced as you go through it so that, the simple aspects of your 3D life can kind of feel intact? People rely on you, and so how do you maintain while internally something really big deal is happening for you? And so that's sort of what this is going to be talking about, and advising and just letting you know that you have within your control, a really great inner leadership that you can trust. And so delegating is going to be a big part of getting through this period, being able to offload responsibilities a little bit, call upon people in your life to share the burden at this time, because it's when you need it most right now. And that's, so call upon that. In your recent past is the Ace of Wands. So this was all spurred off by an aha moment. So a piece of inspiration came through for you. Very simple as that. It really is just saying that. And one day, this idea, this inspiration in the form of a person or a passing thought or a book you read or something, some event that, just happened, and there was this spring of thought and inspiration that was just enough to push you forward and begin the domino effect, and it took root. And then in your crowning energy, I think it took root, and it caused this sort of furious activity in you, and it was as if two different things coming through, you guys. So for some of you, it's your energy, and it's sort of like, aha, this piece of inspiration came through, and now I better act on it. I better act on it before it goes away, before I miss my opportunity. Especially if it's a sort of, like you've been feeling bogged down and heavy and entrapped by this energy here of like this sort of obsessive, addictive energy. Like you see this shining moment, you get your moment of clarity, and all of a sudden you're like, I gotta act on this. And very pointedly and swiftly you do. And for others of you, it's the nature of the energy around you, and the messages that come through, or that came through, this big idea thought perhaps, came through fast and furious via messenger. Somebody came in and swiftly dropped a piece of news on your doorstep, and you were like, and then it was gone as quickly as they came, and they were and it just, that's what began the domino effect. Very fast moving messenger energy here, or offers even, but messenger energy. Somebody came in swiftly, like like a bat out of hell, and said, hey, this is your inspiration for huge massive change, bye. And then they were gone. So so that's sort of the energy that's crowning this period. And in your near future, you have the Magician card. The Magician talks about major manifestation abilities, master manifester, and that's you. It's a period of you moving through this and having all the resources to see through this transformation that you're manifesting. And truly, what this confirms for me is that you manifested this whole thing from the start. I think, whatever this energy was, this devil energy that has been sort of bringing you down, and perhaps it was enlightened by this inspirational moment, this aha moment that came in on the breeze, or truly someone breezing in and dropping it on your doorstep. You manifested that moment, and and because you knew something had to change, something had to shift, that you were ready for ascension. It's your time. That's what this is all about. It's rebirth. You got to step it up. You can't just hang out at this level, whatever this soul level is, here on earth anymore. Like, it's time to it was time for you to start whatever that process is for you. And so the magician is the energy of, sorry for the urban background. We got sirens in the background, but so the magician energy is here to confirm that, not only did you manifest it, that you are the master manifestor here, it also confirms that you have all the tools in order to see this through to its absolute success. And there's every indication that that's exactly what happens. So yeah. Anything else on that card? The roses are really standing out for me on this card today. They don't normally. If that resonates for some of you, the roses. But to me, that just really points to simply real. What comes forward from this is sorry. Didn't we just talk about somebody coming in on the breeze? Well, this is my cat. Sorry about that. So, so what comes forward is a really beautiful growth. Just really, it's a healthy, beautiful step forward. Why am I shuffling? I'm not finished over here. Okay, so Nine of Swords signifies you, and naturally, of course, you're up in your head. This whole thing is going to bring you a lot of anxiety. There's going to be a lot to think about, but just know that this will pass. Swords energy is temporary. It's air energy. I mean, this is your element, the element of air, so there's that, but it also implies that it's going to, like the air, it will pass over, and but it acknowledges that this energy is here, and that's where the stage in this transformation that you're at, where it is not comfortable yet. You might wake up at night and have anxiety about what's going on. It's going to bring up a lot of questions before answers, but the answers are coming. And then in your environment, you do have the King of Pentacles, and this is again this really exalted element of air, and it's in your environment, so it can be significant of a person, of a masculine pre-emperor energy, somebody who's perhaps in the sense of being pre-emperor, and again tied into this tradition card, and this may be where you're getting some of this this energy. This is a person who imbued this wisdom onto you, and for others of you, it's just going to be a figure of authority in general. But they're softer than the emperor, though. They've because they're of the earth. And they have all of this fecundity and growth, capable to them. And, I want to say that the fruits on the King of Pentacles is standing out to me a bunch today. Again, today, like for whatever reason, on all these cards, they all have a lot of these people cards have some expression of fruit or flora on them, and they sort of blend into the background for me most of the time. They're really popping out for me today. So something about the fruits or the flowers of what came before. Now I'm really getting like this sort of like, this old soil feeding the new growth is the big message coming forward. And so this is happening in your near future and what you're manifesting, and it's happening in your environment, and it's significant to perhaps a person who is of divine masculine energy, who is a really big part of this transformative process. And you have this person is very wise. I'm feeling really drawn to like emphasize his connection to the Emperor energy. There's a lot of structure and imbued in this energy and authority, but because he's the King of Earth or the King of Pentacles, he's also has this attachment to something softer, and that's something that can bear fruit, and something that does allow for a little bit more of that feminine energy to come in. And so it's nurturing. It is nurturing as well, and this is in your environment. This energy plays into your transformation as it surrounds you. Again, your hopes and fears is the Tower, and of course, and we talked about that a little bit, and it's it's talking about the suddenness of the upheaval. It's something I think by all evidence you're manifesting the change, and I think you're nervous that it might be something that is bigger than what you can handle, and that's a part of the fear. But you also want this this paradigm to shift. You need this to fall. You need this to fall away. You need it to just be grounded so that you can build again. You need a fresh start here a little bit. You need a clean slate. It just is it truly is your hope and your fear, but you're also kind of, I think there's a nervousness. The anxiety here is that like it might get away from you a little bit. It might become untenable, but never fear, because the outcome that you're headed on, the path that you're headed on, is towards achieving your wishes, achieving you're manifesting this success forward. This is a card of success, a personal success on a big personal level. It implies a sense of emotional achievement as well as material achievement. This person has a wealth about him or her that is something to be really proud of, but it's a Cups card, so it's really emotionally fulfilling. Cups is representative of water, and water is emotions. Let's get some further clarification on our outcome. And I've been really talking slowly and really calculated. That's the energy of your reading, Aquarius. Oh dear, well, that all wanted to come out, so let's see what we can do here. And I just wanted to say that because it's like that's the energy that I feel here. It's acknowledging that this is a really big deal for you to go through, and it feels like a quagmire. Like I feel like as I'm trudging through your reading, it's got this this duality of like moving through molasses, but also like this really like hopeful and excited energy. And I just need to tell that to you because it just is acknowledging how hard it is right now, but and it feels like it's going to take a long time, or it feels like a lot of effort. Not a long time, I don't think time, that's the wrong word. It feels like a lot of effort is needed at this point. It's funny because it's like some of this energy is inevitable, but there's still some effort that's that's required. Like you're part of this manifestation as we, in the law of attraction, as we move forward and do our part. You know, there's the release part, and you have to keep your vibration high, but there's the part that you also have to do, you know, the here in the 3D, the practice that you have to commit to. And that part I feel like is taking some effort, maybe in a way that you're not used to. But clarifying your outcome here, we have the 9, another 9 of Wands, the Wounded Warrior. We have the 6 of Pentacles. This is reciprocity, balance, give and take, charity. The King of Wands, really exalted, healthy, passionate, inspired, divine masculine energy, pre-emperor as well. 7 of Cups, a little bit of an outlier, I'm not gonna lie, but lots of options, lots of emotional options ahead of you, a little overwhelm and confusion perhaps. And then finally the 10 of Cups. I wanted to get 3, but these all 5 of these flew out. But I'm glad they did. This one was like one of the first, to be honest. But the 10 of Cups is supreme happiness, and it's a graduation from the 9 to the 10, you know. And so now this personal achievement does become, let's just get that over with right away. It becomes an achievement that, you know, is for everybody. Everybody's happy. Everybody wins because of your win. So let's talk about this really quick. And your reading's gone especially long because it's just been like, oh, it's been heavy, Aquarius. So this achievement in the 9 is also going to feel like a real battle, and it's no wonder. It's exactly what I'm feeling. Like you're gonna get a victory, but it's gonna feel hard fought, hard won. And so, but you are going to be able to look around and see that your wands are still standing. So even though a paradigm shifted and these walls fell, like, you know, you what's left over is plenty to build forward from, you know. But you know, this just recognizes how hard it's been, and that there's a sense of balance and reciprocity, that there was a give and take that's restored. A real balance is restored, and you know, the scales are here on this card, and that represents that, you know, that there's an equilibrium that's struck, that's achieved in this process, in this victory. And the King of Wands, I want to say that the King of Pentacles here, you know, this is the same energy. I want to say that this energy, you know, is becomes really, it gets his inspiration back. This lightens up. What I'm getting here is this sort of like, you know, in this earthly energy, it's sort of also a bit heavy, you know, and here the fiery energy, it's much more lightened up. And again, the King of Wands is the most exalted aspect of his element of fire, and fire has to do with action, activity, and inspiration, but it's also this really healthy and light energy, and he's very gregarious and charismatic, and yeah, he's nurturing in a different way. He nurtures ideas, you know, and then we've got this interesting Cups energy that kind of came flying out of nowhere to just sort of denote that there's a lot of options that come forward after this, you know. So I think part of the process of going through this is, you know, the 7 of Cups is generally a card of like having too many things to choose from, or, you know, having, you know, not knowing which direction to go, being presented with a lot of offers and ideas, you know, and they're cups, and so they all kind of trigger something emotionally. And you know, it's also, okay, for some of you, I've got a couple messages coming through. So for some of you, it is simply going to be that this opens up, you know, like just so many directions, you know, like, because, you know, a paradigm falls, and so you start again, and what comes forth is, you know, nature abhors a vacuum. So all of a sudden, all of this other opportunity and comes forward and flooding forward, and it's a little overwhelming, you know, because you're like, wait, I don't know which one to choose. But it's super positive. And for others of you, there's going to be a sense of temptation, you know, because we had, again, you know, for those of you who are battling some and more, you know, internal things that pull on you at a deeper level, you know, that it can be addiction or obsession, you know, these things might come up again, you know, and it's just for some of you talking about how it's just confirming that you're going to, you know, they don't go away. But what goes away is your tie to them and your draw to them and you know, their power over you. But that they'll kind of be always lurking about. And so it's sort of one of those, for some of you, it's going to be a reminder to just pay heed, you know, and don't, oh, I hate the word don't, sorry. I want to say, just understand that they're just kind of going to be around. They're just going to affect you differently. So I can't just, but and they just won't have the same draw over you know. But that the healing is ongoing. But again, you end, you know, with the 9 of Cups going to the 10 of Cups, and that is your supreme happiness. And it's a cup of rainbows. It's a rainbow of cups, however you want to look at that. And the village below is rejoicing. It's a family rejoicing together and just, you know, so elated over the bounty that, you know, has come forward for them, and it's supreme emotional fulfillment and security. And that implies also, you know, an abundance in your resources as well. Abundance in love, you know, in this card. And it's just a beautiful way to end your reading, Aquarius. I hope that helped, and if that resonated, please do hit the like button. It's intense, but it will pass over. It's a moment that in time, and you're going to get on the other side of this. You're going to get on the other side of this, and the other side of this is huge. It's so good, and well done. We all have to go through these things periodically in our lives. It's just a part of it. You just happen to be here now, and well done. You have my love and support, Aquarius. All right. With that, I'm sending you my love and light. Bye for now.